Okay. So Amit Sir is the owner of Kool Skool, a bookstore that has not just survived but thrived in COVID. He is also a familiar face in Gurgaon and is often seen recommending books to children. To me, it seems as though he knows every book written, in the planet written for children. His knowledge is vast, his interest is infectious, and I'm excited to be talking to you today, sir.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful introduction.
So, could you tell us a little bit about your childhood? What initially got you interested in books?
Okay, so I have a very distinct memory of where it all started. Uh, I don't think I have discussed this earlier. My very first memory goes back to play school,
Okay,
and it is the first book that I was awarded, which was a Peter Pan.
okay,
And that essentially started my journey with books. But there was another moment where I fell in love with books. This was during a summer break. We did not have much to do during our summer vacations. I remember there was no cable at that time, so we could either play or just be at home. There weren't any video games also. So my dad had got me three books: a top 10 of everything, a thick book on inventions and discoveries, and a world map. Uh,
oh,
and that is where my interest in books really started. I remember I created this notebook where I marked down all the countries that were there at that time. I located their capitals, and I created this GK book for myself, which had all the countries, their capitals, their currencies. So yes, that would be my first memory, where I,
that's
yeah, with
really
arts.
interesting.
Yeah.
Really unique way to get into books. Okay, and you really know your books well. The last time I came to meet you in your bookstore, you really knew what every book meant. Do you happen to be an avid reader yourself?
Yes, I've always loved reading. Though I must be honest here, I never thought that I was going to run a bookstore. That was coincidental. But yes, I have always loved reading. In school, I used to read very specific kinds of books because we weren't exposed to the kind of genres that are and the authors that are there today. So
Okay,
very similar path that a lot of us followed in terms of reading. But yes,
okay.
I would read a lot. But I read a lot, a lot of varied genres and categories now than what I used to in school.
So you mentioned earlier you never saw yourself running a bookstore. So what made
Never.
you decide to actually start the bookstore?
Uh, okay, so me and my wife, Ritu Vaishnav, who's also a published author, we started the bookstore together in 2011.
Okay,
Uh, our main reason for starting the bookstore was this need that we felt that when we would go to other bookstores, we would see the same kind of content, and it would not excite us that much. And we just realized that a lot of books never came, especially in the children's section, because firstly they were not available, there wasn't enough information available about them, and you would only find the typical series. You would find Roald Dahl, you would find authors like Ruskin Bond, you would find Harry Potter's, but that is where it ended. So we saw that there was potential to expose children to authors and genres that were not very popular and not very common.
okay.
And that was the premise. I remember my wife asking me that, we love our books, we love the kind of books that we've read, but will others enjoy our choices as well? Well, I'm very happy to say that we are now in our 10th year, and we've
Oh,
received a lot of.
congratulations.
Thank you, thank you,
Congratulations.
thank you. We complete our 10 years in July this year.
Oh, congratulations in
Thank you.
advance. So, what do you enjoy about books?
Ah, very good question. So I love storytelling in any format.
Oh,
My personal favorite genres would be mystery. I've begun to enjoy historical fiction a lot, and
oh,
and children books as a category. I think I enjoy children books more than I enjoy adult books. There's just something very magical, even in realistic fiction, in children books. The kind of innocence that you find in children books and the kind of power that you find in children books, I sometimes don't find them in adult books. So yes, I love the storytelling. I love the fact that I'm able to travel with the books. I am currently reading a historical fiction, an adult historical fiction, and I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying it, because it is based in 10th century Europe, and it's
Oh.
I am visiting these places, whether it's Poland, Denmark. I love traveling, and I haven't been able to because of the current situation, but the book is allowing me to do that. So that's something that I would say, the books have tremendous power. They can transport you to universes and to worlds that you can otherwise not visit or see.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
It indeed is.
So your bookstore has been incredibly successful in COVID and even before COVID. Was there any thought that went into choosing your locations, or did you just find the location?
Uh, Again, Ishaan, I must say that you were asking me some very, very unique questions, and yeah, it's amazing that I must commend you. It must be coming from a place of a lot of research and just genuine curiosity. So we did not again choose our location. In fact, Kutub Plaza is one of the dullest markets you will ever come across. You don't get a lot of footfall here. So I remember when we opened 10 years ago, it was very lukewarm, the response, because it took a lot of time for people to discover. I remember our first Diwali, and I remember thinking to myself that why are there no people in the market? I thought Diwali was supposed to be great for retail. It was just empty. So it has been a long journey. We have not spent any money on advertising in our formative years. We just relied absolutely on word of mouth. In fact, people are still discovering us. We will get the odd client who will be surprised, to see us in Kutub Plaza, because they've never been to that side of the market. So yes, our location was not by choice. The store belonged to my family, and that is how we started. But we were very, very confident, quietly confident, I would say, when we started, that if we continue to do justice to our selection and choose the books for the right reasons and not just for margins, we would be all right, because there would be enough people like us who would appreciate our range of books. And I'm very grateful to the kind of love that we've received from children and parents all through these years. Running a bookstore is not an easy business. It has its challenges, and with the kind of competition that we face with online sites, we've never known a time when Amazon was not there. So when we opened, Amazon and Flipkart were already there in the market. So that has helped us, because we always had to take care of that aspect of competition. And I remember very early on, we decided this consciously, that we were not going to be a discount store. So we have a loyalty plan in place, where we reward customers who are loyal to us by giving them a flat 15% in terms of points. But we don't encourage discounting of books. There is a lot of effort that goes into curating this range. We have to read hundreds of books, and then we come across, let's say, 2 or 3 or 5 gems. So, we are honest to that process. And luckily for us, there are enough people who appreciate and realize the effort that goes into it.
Okay. If I may say so, I really think you've lightened Kutub Plaza up in your bookstore. So, what did you do differently to flourish under COVID when other people were suffering?
So again, I think we were lucky in that sense, that we realized very quickly as a team that things have changed. It's not temporary. And I remember in March is one of our best months of the year. We have a lot of school book fairs. Parents come back to the store in hordes because exams have just got over. None of that happened. All our book fairs got cancelled, and we're sitting on piles of books, which we had. I mean, we didn't know what to do, but we realized, as I said, as a team, that things have changed and we need to accept the new reality and get moving. So our first step was to get online. I was very, very clear before that we were never going to go online.
Oh,
Call me myopic, but I just felt we bookstores have this romantic notion that we have to be brick and mortar. Uh, we were very early, very, very quick to realize that we had to change. Otherwise, we will not survive. So our first step was to start our website, and I would say that it was a blessing in disguise. I would have never started my website had it not been for COVID. The access that it gave us, in terms of the whole Indian market, we were restricted to a limited segment of readers in Delhi NCR. Now we were catering to the whole of India as a reading audience. And we were pleasantly surprised that a lot of people already knew about us, through maybe readers like you who had talked about us with their friends or family in areas outside of Delhi. So we got a very good response to begin with. And again, with word of mouth, our presence, the news of our presence spread over. We got a lot of help from our friends who spared no effort in spreading the word. And my team worked day and night. It was not easy. We did not hire anyone who was technical. We just did our best in putting the books out there, creating and curating the website the way we've curated our bookstore. If you look at our website, koolskoolbookstore.com, we've put in age categories. We have not put in everything and anything that is available under the sun. If you are not comfortable with a title, if you would not recommend it to you, we've not put it on the website. So and that has been appreciated. We are still working on it every day, because this is a very new segment for us, but it helped us to stay afloat. We've retained our entire workforce, even though a lot of them were only for book fairs. We were very particular that we were not going to let go of anybody, as a matter of choice. So yes, I think that, plus just we've been recommending a lot of books online. I'm not very comfortable with doing videos, but we did go out there and did some videos which reached out to different kinds of readers. We still continue to do a lot of recommendations to people who are in direct touch with us, who are not necessarily comfortable with, let's say, a website. So we understand their requirements and we suggest books to them. So it's difficult, but there is no other choice right now.
okay, that is amazing, truly.
Thank you.
Okay, so as you said before, the bookstore you started with your wife was born out of need for children's book. Is there a difference between running a children's bookstore from running a regular bookstore?
Uh, I would think so, because firstly, just the curation. I remember now it's still, I would say, relatively easier getting a lot of these children books. But when we started off, we were literally importing everything. Some of the household names that you now think of, let's say even a Julia Donaldson, not her entire range was available back then. So yeah, it's easier now. I say a lot of bookstores now have a lot of children books, but I would say that the range that we have is tremendous, and it has taken years to build that depth of range. Also, children books still remains a largely untested area. So a lot of work has to be done from your side in terms of curating it. There are still so many wonderful authors that no one knows of. For me, also, every day is a learning experience. I would say every day I would come across some author or some series that I've not read, or of course I've not read, but I've not even heard of. So there's learning every day, and that is the exciting part. I cannot say that I've achieved the kind of range that I want to. There is still so much to be done. So many categories and areas that we need to build. So many books that we need to read. So yes, but it's an amazing experience. When someone comes to us and saying that that my child does not read, I can't tell you, how exciting that is for me, because for me that becomes a challenge. I believe every child is a reader. Every person is a reader. We just need to figure out the right book for them, the right format for them. So yes, children books, and and again, running a children's bookstore eh, is fascinating, because I am dealing with children. I am interacting with them, and there is a certain genuineness and innocence that comes with dealing with children. If a child doesn't like a book, they are not going to be politically correct about it. They will say that they did not like the recommendation, and that keeps us on our toes as well.
Hmm. Okay, that was a very, very good answer. So, do you think reading is important to a person?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it goes beyond just the typical benefits that we associate with reading, increasing comprehension, improving your vocabulary. No, I think reading is so important. And especially during the times that we are in, uh, I can I can say it with a lot of certainty that children who have been reading are in a much better mental space right now than children who haven't been.
Hmm.
I have seen at home how my son, who's a voracious reader, how books have helped him during this time. It has been more than a year, and these children have been cooped up inside their homes. It's not been easy for them, and children sometimes don't necessarily express what they are going through. They are very resilient. They take it in. They don't show their frustration. So books have been a savior for so many kids that I know. Because they've been just reading, reading, and reading. Uh, Also, books allow you to experience so much. Uh, I remember I read this book called When Stars Are Scattered. I think COVID was at its peak, and it's a true story. It's a graphic novel about these two children and their hardships. I
Oh.
remember for me also, we were going through a tough time as a business at that time. We had no idea how we were going to survive the next few months, but that book just brought that peace to me. That even in even in the kind of position that we are in, these children still had it more. Their conditions were much more difficult. So it gave me a sense of gratitude and a sense of peace that we will be all right. We are no ways in the kind of situation that these kids were in, and they did not give up. So again, that's the power of books. It helps us deal with the kind of situation that we can find ourselves in at various points in our life. Books are beyond just improving reading and vocabulary, improving comprehension and vocabulary. It enhances you as a person. It improves you as a person. It gives you experiences that you may not yet go through in real life. So yes, I believe everyone should be reading.
That's good. And do you have any advice for other bookstore owners on how to get through the pandemic?
Uh, well, bookstore owners are a resilient tribe. I don't need to give them any advice. I'm sure, yeah, they for us, survival is an everyday thing. So I'm sure bookstores everywhere are doing their unique things to survive. Independent bookstores, I hope and I know that they will survive, but they will have to innovate. We will have to leave, what we believed in earlier, be more flexible, to 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 accept the situation that we are in. Yes, it is difficult, but we need to accept it. It is much more difficult for a lot of other industries. We still have something going for us. Uh, Being connected to your customers, I think, is the key in these times. Understanding what they need, what they're going through. Reading, of course, is a key. We can't run a bookstore if we are not reading. uh,
Hmm.
I think, yeah, and I think most independent bookstores would be doing that. That is what makes them unique.
Hmm. So, my last question, I'll stop pestering you with questions now. So, what do you think is the future of bookstores and libraries? Most of the things are going online during the pandemic. So, what do you
Uh,
think is the future?
so it is going to be challenging, no doubt about it. But I definitely feel that bookstores need to be there, and readers like you need to do everything to support bookstores and libraries. Uh, I tell this to parents who buy a lot of books online. We feel that we are saving money. I would just urge them to do one simple calculation. Yes, you do get discounts online which an independent bookstore may not be able to provide you.
Hmm.
But if you calculated the cost of all books that you bought online without someone's recommendation, which did not work for you, and if you calculated the cost of the time that you wasted on those books, I'm sure, I can assure you, you will find that buying books from a bookstore who can recommend books to you and can give you 9 out of 10 books that you enjoyed, that your child enjoyed. Uh, I can assure you that without a single rupee discount that you may get from an independent bookstore, you will still save money and you will save a lot of time. Unfortunately, we don't attribute any cost to recommendations. Why would you leave a bookstore, or why would you not stick to a bookstore who can assure you, and you can try them before giving them that sort of before giving them that sort of confidence. uh, if a bookstore can day in day out recommend books to you that your child will like, that you will like, you need to encourage them. You need to forego that teeny bit of discount that you think that you're getting online, and recommend and suggest, save bookstores and libraries.
Hmm.
That can only be done, if you give recommendations value. uh, it is going to be difficult, the coming years with footfalls going down, because there are costs that are associated with running physical bookstores that are not going down,
Oh.
right? So I think as a community we definitely need to do everything that we can to support independent bookstores, to support libraries, and that can only happen if you get in touch with them, ask for books, ask for recommendations, and I'm sure you will be delighted by what these bookstores have to offer.
Hmm. Okay, I feel okay, I feel very enriched today. Thank you for sharing your life and your wisdom so freely with us. I'm sure our readers will love hearing this just as much as I did. Again, thank you for your time, and I'll end the interview here.
Thank you, Ishaan. I thank you for having this, this meeting. Thank you for doing this interview. I have done some interviews before, but I will tell you this. I truly enjoyed speaking to you. I have not been asked a lot of these questions that you asked me, and it made me think as well. Thank you so much for doing this. I'll see you soon at the store.
Thank you, sir. I hope to see you soon too.
Take care and stay safe.
You too, sir. Thank you. Bye.